In this video I'll show you how to paint the Soul Survivor miniature from Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Hello Bitzbox and welcome to the latest video of my Fallout painting tutorial series. So my little mini series. This is the third and final video of the little mini series. And in this one I am painting the Soul Survivor miniature. So if you are new to this channel and you like anything wargaming such as paint tutorials, bat reps, conversion videos and much more, then please do feel free to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and you can click that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And before we begin, I just want to say a big shout out and a massive thank you to all our patrons. You are the elites of the Bitzbox and you make all these videos possible, so thank you so much. And if you are interested in checking out our Patreon, there is a link down below. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So here we have our Soul Survivor miniature, and he has been undercoated with a light grey primer. As you can see, I haven't got like fully cover on there, just like a couple of bursts, but that's all you really need. So we're going to start with some Calidor Sky, and I'm pretty much just going to base coat the majority of the miniature in this. We can go back over the other areas that are going to be different colours later on, but just for quickness I'll just go over most of the miniature in this colour. Now, being a base paint from GW, this will go over quite easily in one coat. I have thinned it out a little bit and that will help it flow into all the recesses. So once that is done, I'm going to take some Drakenhof Nightshade and I'm just going to apply this all over all the blue areas. So this will darken down the blue colour as it's still a bit brighter than I would like, and it will also add a shadow in all the recesses as well, giving the miniature an instant shade. Once that's done, we can begin highlighting. So I'm going to start by taking some Techless Blue, and I'm just going to dry brush this. As this is the first step on the miniature, we can be a bit messy with our highlights, so I'm just going to dry brush all over the miniature, and that'll give us a nice lighter blue highlight. So the next step, I'm going to take some Lothern Blue, and we're going to do pretty much what we've done before with the previous dry brush, but this time I'm going to hit the miniature just a lot lighter and a bit more selective where these highlights go. So this is like an additional highlight on top of what we had done previously. Now you could also just use the brush to thin the paint down and paint these on manually, but I thought dry brushing will just speed up the painting process. So once that is done, we can take some Lead Belcher, and this is for all the metal areas on the miniature. So just use the box art as a reference to where all these bits go, but we have his shin pads, his knee pads, and both his guns as well, and a few other little bits on his belt. Once that is done, we can then take some Agrax Earthshade, and we're going to shade the metal with that. Now you can use Nuln Oil if you prefer, but I quite like using the Agrax Earthshade. It just gives the metal just a little bit more of a worn appearance, which is ideal for the Fallout world. And I'm just really just splashing it on. You don't want it to pull up too much, but I do put on a fair amount just to help with that effect. So next up we're going to take some Mournfang Brown, and this is for all his pouches. Again, just check the box art to see where all these are. I'll thin that out just a little bit just to help paint it. I do apologise if the camera goes a little bit out of focus. But you can sort of roughly see where all the pouches are on the miniature, and there's some round the back as well. And I'm also going to paint these straps on his gun. So next up, I'm going to take some Abaddon Black, and this is for all the straps on the miniature. So that'll be his belt, he's got a strap running across as well. So just make sure you've got a good tip on your brush here, and definitely thin this colour out a little bit, and that will really help with the control. And just take your time on this step, and just go very carefully around. So next up I'm going to take some Nuln Oil, and this is for all the Mournfang Brown areas. I wanted to darken these areas quite a bit, and obviously I'll add some nice shade to them as well. Again, I'm just applying a fair amount, but again, just not letting it pool up too much in all the recesses. You can see it goes on quite heavily there, but you can come back with your brush and just soak up any bits where it pulls up. So the next step is to take some Avalanche Sunset. So this is for the stripes on his uniform. And again, much like the black, you just need a very good tip on your brush and thin the paint out a little bit just for control. And you can see I'm very carefully just painting little bits just to build that up. And on his back as well, he also has his vault number. And it's just sort of hidden under the gun a little bit. But you can just see the 111 up the top there, so just very carefully pick that out also. So the next step is to take some Kislev flesh. So this is obviously for his flesh areas. We have his hand, or both his hands, sorry, and his face. Now I want sort of a lighter skin tone. I'm sort of going with how it is on the box a little bit here. So I thought I'd start with a lighter colour paint. And this is quite a thin paint, so you'll definitely need at least 2 thin coats to get a nice smooth finish. And then I'm going to take some Druchii Violet. So on the box art, it looked like his face was washed with purple. And I went in a little bit too heavy around the eyes, but you can spread that around. So I thought a purple wash would be quite ideal to try and replicate how he looks on the box. But yeah, don't let it pull up too much in the eyes like I have there. I'll go back with the brush and just spread it out just a little bit. And then we're going to take some Flayed 1 flesh, and this is to highlight the skin areas. Now I've thinned it out a little bit, as I don't want it to go on too drastic when it goes on. So as you can see, it looks quite light as it goes on now, but because I've thinned the paint out, that will actually dry a lot more subtle, and that will give you a nice look and highlight. And I'm just going around all the sort of raised areas on the face, such as the nose, the cheeks, the forehead, and then on his hands I will just highlight his fingers. So next up we're going to take some Rhinox hide, and this is for his hair. And again, I thinned it out just slightly, just so you get a good coverage, and that'll cover up all the little detail on the hair. And then we can highlight them with some Goreful Brown. Now you could dry brush this if you so wish, but I just literally just painted some sort of random lines of this. Now the paint was a bit too thin for my liking here, so I do apologise. But you do want to thin it out, definitely. And just do some little areas. Just try and follow the lines if you can. If not, just paint some lines to sort of replicate sort of hair, so it sort of gives that impression. Again, just make sure you've got a good tip on your brush for this. So next up I'm going to take some Brass Scorpion, and this is to paint his Pip-boy. I found this is a really nice metallic colour for this, and I've just using it straight out of the pot here. It's quite a good consistency, and it does cover quite well, which not something you always get from GW Metallics. I'm going to wash this with some Agrax Earthshade to really bring out the detail, and that will darken this colour down a little bit as well. And then next up we're going to paint the screen, and we're going to use some Caliban Green. So you could even take this a step further and paint some little dots of colour on there to represent the writing, but I thought I'd just leave it as a plain green. Again, thin your paint down just so you can get good control and paint that little area inside. So next couple of steps are just sort of optional extra highlights. So I'm going to come back with the Goreful Brown, and this is just to highlight the pouches. You don't have to do these steps, but I wanted to just give these areas just an extra little highlight. And again, just a good tip on your brush, and just thin the paint down a little bit and carefully go around them edges. And then for our final little highlights, I'm just going to take some Runefang Steel, and just do some little highlights on the metal areas. Now if you want, you could even go further on the metal areas and add some rust effects and some grime effects, and if you want to know how to do that, you can watch the first video in this series where I do that on Mr. Handy. And here is the finished miniature. So I've based them exactly the same way as the Mr. Handy miniature as well, so again you can go back and watch that video to see how I do that. So if you have enjoyed this video, then please do give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. I'll be doing some more painting tutorials in the future for various miniature games, and maybe even go back and do some Fallout ones, as I do really enjoy painting these miniatures. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little mini series. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you all again in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You can also click that bell icon to be notified when a new video has gone live on this channel. On the screen now are 2 more videos that you may wish to check out, and a link to our Patreon page also. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.